This is Business Connection, and joining me now from K. Peterson Associates, Inc. Architects is Kevin Peterson. Welcome.
Hi, thank you, Liz.
It's nice to have you on the show. I think a lot of people know you in the community, but I want you to tell me a little bit about your practice, what type of architecture you do. And
Sure. Yeah, well, we have been very, very fortunate to have a variety of clientele, and they're all into different aspects of the construction and architecture world. So we have had a lot of experience in so many different types of buildings and programs. So it's from restaurants, movie theaters, healthcare, single-family, multifamily, residential work, hospitality. It's been exciting to do.
Well, variety to me is the spice of life.
Oh, absolutely.
You got to have it.
I love that aspect of what I do.
Absolutely. Well, and tell me, are there a few projects that we might recognize or are something that you're particularly proud of?
Yeah. Well, of course, locally, Naperville and very recent is Go Brewing, which I hope a lot of people have been to. So enjoyable working with Joe Chur on that project. And Freedom Brothers Restaurant will be opening soon at 75th and Naper.
So you had mentioned movie theaters.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about those.
Oh, absolutely. So, and this is one of the aspects that I'm so proud of about our business, because I met the owner of Classic Cinema Theaters, but I met him 25 years ago, or maybe more. And that was to design their office space. And the big office years were, we were doing 1 million square feet of office space, and we kind of got known for that specialty. And so we designed their corporate offices. But what's wonderful about that is that the business relationship and working with him through that, 6 months later, he said, I have an apartment building in Aurora. Can you help me renovate that? And so we did that. A couple of months later, he said, I have a commercial retail center that I need updated. How about doing that? And so I did that. And then he said, how about a movie theater? And I said, I don't know a thing about movie theaters. And he said, that's okay. I do, and we'll do it together and make it work. That is so unusual for an architect to be given that challenge and opportunity that I was ecstatic. And so the first theater we did was the Lake Theater in Oak Park.
Awesome.
Beautiful original 1920s theater that we renovated and then added on to. We took over the property, Crocs and Brentano's, if you remember that.
Right, bookstore.
Right.
Okay.
Took that over and expanded the theater. Then the next one, I think, was maybe the York Theater in Elmhurst.
Sure.
We've done a dozen of the theaters.
Wow, that's awesome.
But Woodstock was probably the most challenging. Downtown Woodstock, if you've seen the movie Groundhog's Day, the Alpine Theater, that is the Woodstock Theater.
That's awesome.
And so we renovated that 1929 theater and put it back into its original 1929 splendor with the huge, beautiful auditorium, but took 3/4 of a city block in downtown and expanded and added the additional auditoriums that's necessary to do in the business.
Right.
So that was huge.
How did this all come to be for you? How did you become an architect?
Yeah.
Why did you think this would be good for you?
Well, yeah. Oh, so that's a question that I was brainwashed by my mother.
Okay.
But
mothers do that.
that's okay. I learned that she was right, and so I headed in that direction from a training standpoint. I've had my own practice for over 30 years, and I've said that sentence for a lot of years, and I'm never changing that sentence, even though because they're real numbers, it's like too scary.
Okay.
I can't do it.
I can't do it.
So, but how that happened was that, you know, in the architecture world, you go to the School of Architecture, graduate with that degree, and then you have to serve an internship with a licensed architect for 2 years before that gives you the ability to take the board exam. So all the time I was in school and through that internship, I was working on the side for a wonderful real estate developer on the North Shore. And so I was busy with that, and coincidentally, I got licensed, and that developer came to me and said, "You gotta quit this full-time job thing because it's getting in the way. We have work to do." So I went out on my own. Very, very early on, and so obviously racking up quite a few years doing that.
That's excellent, because it's scary to go on your own, and sometimes in our youth we don't know any better, so off you went.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Well, and of course, because of that, as you may imagine, I've seen some pretty big ups and downs.
Absolutely, but you've weathered through it.
I did. I did, and the weathering came from that variety.
Yes, right.
Diversity.
Diversity, right. Because, something might not be, office space isn't as hot anymore now.
Yep.
Got a little bit of going on
Yep.
with, restaurants, vice versa. So
Exactly.
why is it important for you to give back to the community and be involved in the community? We see you all around. Kids Matter. You sit on the NCTV 17 board. Thank you for your service. And those are just two of like a long list.
Yeah. So I wish I would have learned this earlier in life. What was wrong with my parents anyway? Oh my gosh. Giving back and being engaged in the community is such an important and fulfilling way of life, and it more people have to figure that out. Naperville is wonderful that way, but so because of my relationship with the city, because of work I do, I was asked to be on the building review board, so I served on that for my termed out on that, and then I was appointed to the Historic Preservation Commission and became chair of that commission. So that was a really involved city connection. And then, as you mentioned, I'm on 3 boards and enjoy every minute of it.
Well, I think Mom was right. I think you're right that when you make a commitment to where you live and you work, it just rewards you. Yep. And thank you, Kevin, for your service to NCTV on the board. Thank you for being this architect. I mean, I love the projects you've been involved with, and that is so cool.
Yeah.
So we appreciate it, and you set a great example for all of us.
Thank you so much.
If you're interested in learning more about K. Peterson Associates, Inc. architects, just give them a call.